Throughout the long journey of human history, remarkable breakthroughs have occurred in the field of medicine that have led to the development of extreme medical treatments. In this discussion, we will explore 5 of the most extreme treatments in history, uncovering the stories behind medical achievements that shifted paradigms and brought hope to those who once felt despair. At one point in history, medical practices introduced extreme methods, one of which involved the use of tobacco enemas. Enema, a procedure involving the injection of liquid through the anus to cleanse the intestines, was considered a solution for digestive problems often overlooked. During its time, medical experts were inspired by the practices of indigenous South American tribes, who used tobacco in enemas to alleviate digestive issues. While this method seemed promising, its dark side was eventually revealed. Tobacco contains nicotine, a highly toxic substance, and its harmful effects became apparent as medical research advanced. Eventually, this extreme treatment was discontinued as awareness of the dangers of nicotine content in tobacco spread within the medical community. This occurrence serves as an example of how historical medical efforts do not always align with accurate medical understanding. The practice of treating ailments by perforating the skull, known as trepanation, is one of the extreme practices in human history. This method involves creating holes or performing surgery on the skull bone to access the brain. Despite its initial gruesome appearance, trepanation served various medical and spiritual purposes across different cultures and time periods. In ancient times, trepanation was often performed using simple tools such as sharp stones or animal bones. This practice had several purposes, including treating head ailments, reducing intracranial pressure due to injuries, or even as part of religious rituals. Archaeological evidence suggests that some patients might have survived the trepanation procedure, indicating a certain level of knowledge about sterilization techniques and wound care at that time. However, this method also carried serious risks, including infections, bleeding, and brain damage. Without adequate medical knowledge and surgical technology, trepanation often led to fatal complications. The use of snake venom and poisonous plants as medical treatments is an example of extreme attempts in history to combat illnesses. Despite being notorious for their toxicity and lethality, the courage to incorporate them into ancient medical practices reflects humanity's struggle against medical challenges within the constraints of limited knowledge and resources. One example of the use of snake venom in medicine dates back to a time before antibiotics were discovered. Snake venom was found to contain antibacterial compounds, such as disintegrins, which could inhibit bacterial growth. This antibacterial property was discovered through ancient medical practices. In ancient Egypt, toxic plants like cannabis, opium, and henbane were also used as part of medical treatments. Despite their potent psychoactive effects, these substances were utilized due to their perceived ability to alleviate pain or induce relaxation. In some cases, ancient medical experts were even known to add hazardous elements like dried snakes or scorpions to medicinal concoctions. Such practices were a blend of medical traditions and spiritual beliefs of the time. Although extreme from a modern perspective, these efforts shed light on how humans attempted to tackle health issues and pain in challenging environments. Bloodletting, or the removal of blood, was a popular method of treatment in ancient India and Arab countries. This method was mentioned in medical documents from Greece and Egypt and aimed to remove impure blood from the body, believed to be causing diseases, similar to the process of menstruation. This treatment was commonly used until the 19th century. In the past, a Chinese researcher from the 4th century named Zhe Hong used what he referred to as yellow soup to treat patients with severe diarrhea. This yellow soup was actually made from human feces. This treatment has evolved into what is now known as fecal microbiota transplantation (FMT). Even though antibiotics are available today, they can't distinguish between beneficial and harmful bacteria in the body. When antibiotics are used, both harmful and beneficial bacteria are killed. However, with FMT, patients receive a healthy dose of beneficial gut bacteria, which can strengthen the body's defenses. In the past, patients would consume the yellow soup directly from a bowl, but now doctors introduce fecal microbes into the large intestine through procedures like colonoscopy, enema, or encapsulated forms that are safe for use. The concept of using FMT, although unusual, demonstrates our ongoing exploration of innovative medical solutions. In conclusion, the exploration of extreme medical practices throughout history provides us with valuable lessons about humanity's journey in addressing health challenges. While some of these practices may seem horrific and risky in the context of modern medicine, their historical significance and the lessons they offer cannot be disregarded. These practices reflect humanity's determination to find solutions, even in the face of limited knowledge and resources. From the use of toxic substances to extreme experiments, each step in the history of medicine has contributed to the foundation of advanced and safer healthcare practices we have today. As we celebrate modern medical achievements, the history of extreme medical practices reminds us to consider consequences, courage, and the changes that accompany the evolution of medical science.